So, of course, I was just sitting in the living room thinking about quite a few things. Like, um, for one, my daughter's birthday is on the same day as my, I almost said my ex-parentals, but the woman who gave birth to me, and her husband, it's their anniversary. Of course, their anniversary came before my daughter was born, but my daughter was born on that day for whatever reason. I don't know. And and I knew it. I paid attention to it, but I didn't go no further or no deeper than that. But yeah, just thinking about that. I don't know. God can reveal if it's anything else regarding that, and I know it is. But I was um I was 10 years old, getting ready to soon turn 11. So then, yeah, 10 years later, I had my daughter. Exactly 10 years later, and I was getting ready to turn 21. And like I said, I don't know what's up with that, why it's coming up or whatever. But I was thinking to myself about um when his mom had pressed charges on me and stuff like that, and then I was bothered. I had a slight, because I barely want to call it fear, but I was definitely like not happy about that. That's for sure. And I was concerned. That's what I should say. I was concerned about, what's going to happen because, for one, I already got stuff on my record or whatever. And, again, some stuff I've talked about on here, but other stuff is just, But when I first got into the system, period, it was when, again, the woman who biologically carried me put me in the system by calling the cops and stuff like that, either because I was about to run away and, things like that or whatever. So that's what ended up happening. And so I look back at that and I'm like, that's not fair. And especially because this same person told me not to call the cops and do certain stuff. Um Basically trying to control, calling the cops on a runaway, or I'm saying, a teenager that wants to run away, that is definitely trying to control you. You feel like you can't control them, so you're calling some other party in to do that. And so, when I was mentioned that I was going to call the cops on somebody when I was younger, and it was because, I didn't do it or anything like that, but it was referencing because I couldn't control them, but also, it was also because he had done something to me. So it was definitely some spite or whatever, but, I didn't, but she advised me. She was like, no, don't do that. But she was always quick to tell me to go get in the system and stuff like that. So I don't know. That definitely tries to leave a bad taste in my mouth, and I just don't appreciate that because I don't understand it. Now, at times I've tried to understand, and I try to see it as, hey, it was better that she called the cops, and I guess I end up in jail than to go and be out on the streets or whatever and end up dead. But like, seriously, the lines are blurred. It's hard for me to tell sometimes what is the right thing that should have been done, or what I'm saying, whatever. I just know how I was left feeling, and how I feel today about all that. To me, it's like madness, and it's like hypocritical. It's like, how do you tell me not to call the cops on somebody, but you didn't have a problem calling the cops on me for cheaper, or for something more petty, or what I'm saying, minor or whatever. But so anyway, I just get hung up on that a little bit. But Yeah, but I was just thinking about, I've just been thinking about, Lord, if you ask me, what I'm saying, what to be done with people that, need to, oh, I was about to lose and didn't even see my win. But yeah, what needs to be done with people that need to repent, and specifically this person who, put me in the system and this, that, and the third. And I'm bringing this up because the other day, well, not the other day, but yesterday, I was like, repentance needs to take place. And I didn't even say if it doesn't, this, that, and that, whatever. But I was just like, repentance need to take place, period. And so I'm just saying, like, if God asked me, well, what should I do with this person? And again, this person is the person that gave birth to me, carried me, this, that, and the third. I feel like took care of me in some of the best ways that she knew how, but everything wasn't. Of course, looking back, everything wasn't 100. Or if you compare it to somebody else's life, which you don't know all the details of somebody else's life, so that's kind of hard to do. But if you compare it to what we consider normal in society, it's like, we missed the mark just slightly. But to me, it's like I'm going to say, if I had to grade, I'm going to say, I used to think it was definitely a 95, 100. At this point, I don't feel like that. I probably feel like it's about a good 80 or so, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, 80, 85, something like that. And so to me, that's still not no low number or anything. Like, I just almost can't say nothing bad. And that's why I'm like, you give people room to mess up and this, that, and the third, and grace and all that, or whatever. And sometimes to me, you just write it off and say, oh, it could have been worse. But one thing about it, God knows all the details. So when it's about accountability, it is what it is. And He's no respecter of persons. Like, we will look at other people and give people, I mean, not give people these titles, but people have titles, whether they be mom, dad, whoever, somebody important to you. And so, yeah, God has to be pleased with what I would decide and choose. But one thing I was thinking about was like, honey, and I'm not trying to be harsh when I say this. I said I'd rather choose if he was like, do you want her to go to jail or do you want her dead? I would I would rather somebody to be dead than be in jail, because I feel like this me and that I experienced that last year, and I went through that and stuff like that. Like, that's not, when you've been free all your life, that is not nowhere for nobody to be at when they've been free all their life, period. So, honey, you are pretty much better off in the damn grave to me. And I'm not sitting around wishing death on nobody, and I'm not, God haven't literally came to me and said choose, but this is my thought process. And I'm like, I'd rather you be dead than in there. You know what I'm saying? If, let's just say, some of your consequences or things was catching up with you, and again, it's just your time to reap what you sow. And like I said, I've just been like, it was one time when his mom had pressed charges. She had told me, go ahead and turn yourself in and this, that, and third, go down there, basically trying to assure me. And so when I went down there, I didn't think I was going to get locked up or arrested or put in handcuffs. And I did, though. But of course, I didn't go upstairs, thank God. But I had to give DNA samples. I had to give, I don't know if I had to get blood. I had to get fingerprints and stuff like that. And basically, again, you're getting me deeper in a system that is not fair. And you advising me to go into that. And again, there's other people out here that's really criminals, really living that life, and they avoiding the system. And at least somebody smart enough to tell them, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't do that or whatever. But I always felt like, okay, I can go up here because I ain't do nothing. I ain't, you know what I'm saying, I ain't do nothing. I didn't commit no crime. And at that point in time, I definitely was, you know, walking right with God for real, for real. Like, I wasn't trying to play with Him at all, cause He not for play. But yeah, I didn't have nothing. But I still didn't want to go up in there. And I just look back now, and I'm like, um, I can't say whether I should have went or didn't. All I know is it happened. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. And so, I'd be wanting to say, you take your ass just to snap back, and, you go turn yourself in, because this stuff that you have done, that, you know what I'm saying? And really, the stuff that she done to me is definitely against God. Um, Again, how he chooses to deal with that, I can't, I don't choose. But I'm back on that topic of if he ever told me, because some of the stuff has affected me on what she's done. It's other things that I probably just don't even know, and that, what I'm saying, God knows. But anyway, but some of it and what has affected me, and I'm telling you right now, I don't. I don't wish no type of death, no nothing on nobody. This is what I feel like, honey. Jail is not for everybody. And like, even when I was younger, when I'm just gonna keep it real, she hit me with a bat because I started using curse words and getting upset and angry. She hit me with a bat. She did not beat me with the bat, but she hit me with the bat. It stunned me and it left a bruise, and I called the police. I called the cops. But then I don't know, something on the inside of me was just like, oh, that, well, the common sense was like, that's your mom. And you don't want your mom to go, this is the person that's taking care of you, you know what I'm saying, basically providing for you, and this, that, and the third. So, I didn't go through a person charges and stuff like that. But again, this is the person that kept telling me, and to me as a mom, I don't be feeling like you tell your child to go, well, I can't say you don't tell your child to go get, you don't put your child on restrictions and stuff like that. You got a right to do that. So again, lines are blurred and stuff like that. So I just don't have the full understanding. But the point I am trying to make is that somebody been free all their life. I don't feel like jail is for people. Um, Shoot, some of them criminals that do go to jail and know they done did stuff and whatever as far as criminal activity, they can make a lot of them strong enough to make it through that. But yeah, somebody that been free all their life and just slavery, period. And so of course that got me to thinking about slavery for real. Like when people was enslaved, like Lord, like I don't get it. I don't fully understand like how a person can be a person just like the next, and they can be owned by somebody, be considered property, and this is not somebody that created them. This is just somebody that, however all this occurred, that just decided, oh, I just want to own. I think I just want to own me up today. I just want to lay claims to this one. And yeah, that right there is just like, So if well, I do wear a hat, but I would say my hat definitely comes off to those that endured through that stuff, and the ones that made it through. And I know a lot didn't, and well, we've been taught that a lot didn't. But I don't know. But like I said, I would want this person. I don't want this person. I don't feel like I want this person to die, but I'm just saying, when it comes to that, I would rather that person be dead or choose death or something for themselves than to endure through anything like that time. Now there was another person that I'm like, oh no, she's a whole damn thug out here. She'll make it. She probably can keep her life, and she can go ahead and do that time. But this person that I'm thinking about, I'm like, oh no, I don't think that. And not just her, but it's just, again, other people that's like that. That's like, you done lived your whole life and you ain't. And I know it happens every day, but you done lived your whole life and you ain't went to jail. You've been doing whatever you're doing, and living. I just, you know. And of course, people are stronger than what sometimes I think they are, and that be my mind or whatever. I do feel like I'm a strong person, but I knew that my strength was from the Lord. I knew that I know that I have to call on Him, and I do it daily. And for even some of the tasks that seem so simple every day, I be needing them. So that's that. But I was just thinking about that, and I don't want to keep on going on and on about it, but I just feel a type of way. Then speaking of type of way, I was thinking about that song, that Beyonce song, and I literally had to go look it up, and it was talking about they will never take my power or whatever, and they fell away. Like, I couldn't get it out of my mind until I went and looked it up and seen the words that she was saying. So Oh no, and I definitely start feeling like that, They feel away. They will never take my power. I even started feeling like, baby, show me my opponent. Like I really felt like that, but that's feelings, honey. I'm just like, nah, baby. My opponent, baby, they're probably somewhere out here, and I just I'm not into that. I'm trying to chill. Um, so yeah, thinking about that. Of course, thinking about my daughter as always. Of course, my daughter come up with the fact that their anniversary is on her birthday, and she'll be 14 this year. Definitely, Lord willing, that she lives to see it, and I hope and pray that she does. And it's not just her birthday anyway that I want to spend with her. I just want time with my daughter. Um, um, I interacted with a lady earlier this year, and she said her ex-husband, took her, got her daughter away from her and stuff like that, and had the kids and stuff like that, which I think is honorable, but they had some other stuff going on. I asked her, what was going on. She didn't really want to share much with me about what he did, but she spoke it in a spiritual way. And I know somewhere down the line I understand it, but I didn't really process it all. I don't feel like I processed it like that or whatever, like she was trying to give it to me. So I definitely left that alone. She was one that advised me, don't get into certain stuff. And honey, that's your ex-husband, you think I'm gonna get in that with y'all? Because she was the one that was trying to come and stay here, even for a few days or whatever, for whatever reason. Hey, hey, ooh. I was like, no, respectfully, I was like, no, this is space for me and my boys. Like, I don't have no room. And I know what it was. It was just my house wasn't as welcoming and as inviting as I wanted it to be. And, and I don't want to miss opportunities because of that. But like, I really struggle after I have been laughed at, picked on, a little ridiculed or whatever, as far as, whether it's housekeeping or whether just whatever. Like, I just been struggling through a lot of stuff, and I feel like people don't understand that I'm dealing with that, and even still dealing with some stuff that was, from sheesh, years ago. But, I'm telling you, sometimes, yeah, I've tried to give people more credit, and, I feel like they didn't do right with it, so I just left it at that. I didn't really try to go no further with it or whatever with them. But yeah, don't want to miss my opportunities and stuff. Me and my boys been busy today doing some stuff, putting some things together. I had to get a what is it? Um, Even though my bill got paid for us to have heat, I'm thankful, but I still, just in case any type of storm, because I've had them in the past. Winter storm, knock the power out or anything like that. We want to make sure. Oh, I'm glad I thought about it because I need to get a wick. But we want to make sure we have some heat in here, and so I got the kerosene heater. I already got the kerosene. That stuff is so strong. So we put that together, and then we did a couple other things. And then my older son, ended up saying that was but a pretty. He's like, this is a pretty cool Thursday, and like, he's a cool dude, and so I like when he acknowledges that it was cool, and it was just some simple things I did for him. I put up a tent, and I like put some balls in there, a little ball pit and stuff like that. So, and then I'm kind of like still a kid at heart, or got some, definitely some childlike ways when it comes to that. I like playing video games, and I'll get in the ball pit, and he even invited me. He's like, Mom, you want to get in here? You want to get in here with us and throw it around? And I love that, and I hope that my kids remain like that. But yeah, you want to accept or invite me to any kind of trouble or troublesome situation. But yeah, you want to get in here and throw some balls around? And I was like, um, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, yeah, I want to, but I'm big, so I don't want to get in there and with y'all, and ain't no, it's not enough room. I am like literally fat. So anyway, so that was that. Some other things, and then I found myself thinking about too how I had this, what I believe was a genuine connection. I know it was. I can't even, I mean, I believe and I know it was a genuine connection with I want to say woman, but female that my dad had been, the biological dad had been, the man that skeeted in my, my, the biological woman who carried me. Um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is that I gotta say it like that. Not even that I really feel like that, not in all moments anyway, but I just feel like I gotta say it like that. I gotta watch my tongue. And so, ooh, that reminds me too, when my late grandma was living, she was like, watch your tongue about some stuff. It was just disturbing, man. It's been some disturbing stuff going on. But yeah, I had a genuine connection with her, and he seemingly got like jealous and upset and all this, and he started calling it something that it wasn't, at least on my part. As far as what he might have seen her doing, I don't know. But he started calling it something that it wasn't. And I'm like, baby, I got the Spirit of God operating on the inside of me. So whatever it's not, it can either become or whatever, but it ain't what you saying it is or thinking it is. And so I was just like, oh, it was disgusting to me. Another thing to leave a bad taste in my mouth. But there was a time when it was another female he was involved with, and me and her got to going back and forth and arguing and stuff like that. Honey, he did not interfere. So it was like he tried to interfere with this one, but he didn't. He did not interfere with that when we got to arguing. And anything could have happened, and he might have wanted something to happen. I don't know. But he just cooked on the grill and, let her just do what she doing and say what she said or whatever. And, I mean, and it didn't get that far out of hand to where anybody needed to intervene. But I just realized he didn't do nothing when it came to that. He just let it happen. But when it was just, again, to me, it was seemingly, not even seemingly of God, but it was, God was in the midst and he just kept on. So I'm saying that to say, because I was just thinking in my mind, like, I did post something about regarding the woman that biologically carried me, and next thing I know, something manifests, which was awesome. I didn't do it to manifest anything, but that was awesome or whatever. But and then I was about to post something about him, and I just couldn't finish it. Either the thoughts was scrambled, or I don't know. I got distracted or whatever the case was, but it's still up there. I just didn't I didn't outright write it out loud or whatever. But thinking about that, and I'm like, that's wild to me. And then there's other times, of course, that he just outright shown me and told me. Like it was another spirit that was definitely operating on the inside of him. Uh, uh, um, an opposing spirit and telling me certain stuff, and I was like, the devil is a lie. And of course, this female, she been up close and personal, and she was like, she seen like him with a split tongue and maybe a forked tongue or something like that, and or maybe like I mean, I don't know. She described it to me or whatever. It was a couple years ago, and I'm like, honey, well, you laying up with him, you probably would see. I've seen some stuff too myself, but but anyway, so couldn't gather my thoughts regarding that, and I was just wondering for a minute, am I just trying to come up with something and find something regarding my, the biological male that I'm supposed to be connected to? Should I say? I don't want to say connected because I'm honey. When God do a disconnect, God can disconnect. But yeah, that helped to get me in this world. I'll tell you, my side is hurting. It used to be the other side, but it's like there's some pain trying to come over to this right side. And I'm like, But yeah, I was like, am I just trying to find something? I mean, because I am the type, I ain't from the front that I don't really go looking hard, but I'll let your ass do something. And I'll be like, oh, that's it. I'm gonna holler at you. And I'm like that, God knows the whole full reason, but I just feel like too, just, all my life there was a certain struggle, and I don't be knowing, I be trying to be good with people or whatever, but I guess, early childhood when I got affected by the girl who beat me up, jumped on me and stuff. It was supposed to be a friend or whatever, but her and her brother like jumped on me and this, that, and the third. I've probably just been like that ever since then and had some kind of guard up or whatever. And just like, oh, if you do one thing or if you do not even one little thing, but if you do something that I know I cannot rock with, I'm not finna give you another time. And I feel like it be certain people. It's not always everybody. Because some people I have given other more chances or whatever. But not everybody. But anyway, but yeah, with him, sometimes I have felt like, dang, I give him the short end of the stick, but shit, he gave me, at this point, I do feel like you gave me the short end of the stick first. And again, when I was speaking in another video about how, I might have said it, but how he's saying that one of his other daughters did it, right? He always, one thing he would include, he'll name all of us as his children or whatever, which is, that's, to me, that's a good, decent thing. But he still had to realize that I was not living in y'all household and raised, because he tried to say that I got the same thing, whether it be material stuff or whatever. I got the same things as them, and I'm like, no, I didn't, nowhere near. But okay, I've had some experiences, so I don't know. It was just stuff like that that just be so damn deceitful and just, I mean, are you just flat out lying or are you just in denial or what? What is it? So I was like, okay. And I'm not doing that. And then, some one or two things, again, the woman who biologically carried me, she cleared up when I was younger. Like he tried to say, yeah, you was conceived in such and such, and it doesn't make sense because my birthday is in a certain month. I couldn't have been conceived in, so well, again, did he just forget or is he like intentionally doing this to deceive me? So, but I'm telling you, sometimes I feel like maybe he just forgot. And then there was like some confirmation of that where he did say something about his mind, maybe like his mind was slipping and this, that, and the third. And so anyway, and he been in the military and all that. So, I don't know what all he's seen and lived through and all of that or whatever. But but yeah. So I just want to make sure I'm not just sitting there trying to come up with stuff, but I'm telling you, literally, it's just times when God be moving and speaking to me, like, yeah, you can speak on this and you can, vent how you feel and this, that, and the third, put it out pretty much in the atmosphere, and that's that. And, you don't got to feel no type of regret or conviction about it. And so I do. And being that these are supposed to be the people that supposed to love you and train you and, rear you the right way. Even I feel like even when you did it wrong or whatever, you're supposed to have a desire, some kind of desire to raise your kids right. And yes, for them to get a better outcome than you may have had. But the real world we live in, some of these parents really do be jealous of some of these kids. And somebody have tried to my daughter's dad tried to speak that on me, saying that I'm jealous. I had to laugh because it's like, wow. But saying that I'm jealous of my daughter and stuff like that, when I guess it's really, it's probably him. It could be his mom too, but it's probably him. Because honestly, my daughter got saved, baptized, and all that, and I invited him, told him to come, but he didn't show up. So that's why I definitely be feeling like he's trying to use her and thinking that's going to. Now, granted, being a good parent and being a steward over your child and taking care of your kids, I believe that God is proud of that and he approves. He will even help you, even if you messed up. But doing it again for vain reasons or just to appear like you're doing it or whatever. And I'm not saying that he ain't got no love for her because I feel like even if not now, he definitely have had it before. I don't know as far as now, but and I really don't think he does, but I'm not up close and personal. But before, he definitely had some little inkling, but then again, it was just something unstable came up where he was like, "This my Like I took my daughter to visit him at a freaking prison, which of course, that's a major red flag because he had got locked up. And she was 3 months old, and I didn't want to take her there anyway because that's a harsh environment. And he was like, "This my." And I'm like, "What?" I did not understand that. I didn't get that. And that just, I guess, let me know and set me out and let me know, oh, you didn't have a child with somebody that is, ooh, deeper. Is deeper than what you thought it was. That, what you thought it was, just barely scratches the surface. So, I don't know, but some of these parents be jealous of these kids, or these younger, of course some of them are adults now, but they be jealous of them. And it's like, wow, and they really feel like they don't owe their kids no apologies, they don't owe their kids no explanations, no nothing like that. So, but yeah, well, what happened with me, I still don't know why she made that adamant decision of making me get an abortion. It could have been puppet strings behind that, whether it been her husband or whether the biological male that's, like I said, I'm supposed to be connected to, he said, he claimed he wouldn't have done nothing like that. He wouldn't have chosen that. I don't know whether to believe him or not, because again, it just be too much bull crap going on. And, he wasn't there to actually make the decision. I don't even think she ever told him about it. I don't know, but I told him. And that was that. And so, man, I'm telling you, it just caused a lot of confusion, like seriously, and just madness. And of course, me, I go back to, I know the root, people was having sex outside of marriage and stuff like that. And the Bible definitely speaks against that. And, it's no justifying it. Even though sometimes I feel like I definitely definitely tried to go around it and all that, whatever. I didn't have a desire to and I didn't set out to do that, but I ended up doing that. And it is what it is, and it is what's going on today. Well, I'm not actively, but it's what's, the results of having the children and stuff out of wedlock and this, that, and the third. And in not in ideal situations, should I say, too. Yeah, just throwing that thing back. Throwing that thing back. When you know good and well that's not your husband. Or you might not even know good and well. You just got these strong feelings for somebody, but y'all ain't made it official. God ain't approved of that. What's going on? Oh, yeah. My solitaire game. And so, yeah. So, it's a lot going on. That's what's been on my mind. I'm sitting here playing, what is it? Soda Crush or whatever. And, I don't think, was it anything else that I had to say? It was something specific that I thought about. I don't even know right now. Dang, what was it? Was it something? I know I'm definitely still thankful, regarding my bill getting paid. God is my provider, and I had to give him the glory and the credit. And yeah, me and my youngest son, we kind of a little bit slightly went at it. Was it today? He woke up already telling me he was still. He said I'm still mad, but I'm gonna give you, but I'm gonna hug you. I still want to hug you, and he always do not love him. Like, I'm so thankful for him when it comes to that, that aspect of him. But he was like, I'm still mad. This was early this morning. I said, mad? So he hugged me and then he turned around, mad for what? And really, I am grateful, but I almost wanted to say I should be definitely grateful, because if he is daddy's son, his daddy, and he is, it ain't no if, but he is daddy's son, baby. His daddy, if he don't feel like he want to show you no love, he ain't. And so I'm just like starting to see certain stuff, of course, about their dad come up, in them. Both of them, but mainly him. As far as I see, I might miss it sometimes, maybe in my older son, but I know it's there. But and I don't want to call it a it, but we tend to take after our parents and stuff like that. And so yeah, he said that, and I was like, mad for what? And he was like, oh, because you didn't let me watch TV for them last, like, honey, they go to bed at 10:15. It was like it was like 45 minutes left. And I was like, I was watching a YouTube video, something nostalgic for me. And so I was just like, oh no, I gotta watch this. And he didn't get to watch. He was watching what I watched. And so he was upset. And I am concerned about what bothers them and stuff like that. And I take it into consideration. I definitely do. Because I'm not going to play that man like that, young man like that. Because he ain't no grown man. But yeah, I'm not going to play that man like that. And act like his feelings don't matter. But I did. I mean, here lately. And then I'm trying to think, did he say something? He'd always calls me fat or tell me, you fat, and I don't take offense to it because I am fat. Like, I'm not small no more. And, but he say it so often, I be like, okay, now I'm just getting on my nerves now. And then, yeah, it was just some stuff showing up in him where it's like, oh, Lord, boy, you definitely done got you I guess a double whammy. And I mainly see it regarding his dad, but I don't want to miss it regarding me because I got a little, his daddy called me a feisty bitch. Everything was bitch, but he called me a feisty. And you know what? I'd rather be called feisty than to be called mean and stuff like that, but I'd rather you just know the truth about me and speak truth about me. Definitely speak life. But anyway, he be getting a little feisty, but I just still look at him as so innocent, and I'd be like, even those ways they're not offensive to me, but that don't mean that they can't be offensive to somebody. And I just want him to be careful, learn to be careful and stuff like that. So, and be mindful. So I'm just praying, that God be in the midst, and I'm just continue to love on him and be there for him and stuff like that. But he is growing up, and I don't want mama's boys. I want boys that love their mother, but I do not want no mama's boy, and not one or not two. But but yeah, that's my baby. But anyway, so that part, yeah. So what's this? This would have been This would have been so if November the 30th I was detained. Last year I was detained, and the first I was in there, honey, staying in suicide watch. I was praying, and I was definitely crying, and I was definitely, like I said, I was concerned. I was scared too, but I knew that God was with me because from the beginning, He was like, "Oh, I ain't left you. I'm still here." But I still was like, "Lord, this right here ain't good. I don't know about this." So I would have been, ooh, my stomach is cramping. I was on my period shoot. Matter of fact, last when I went in there, or I was coming off or whatever, I just like, I hope I don't come on my period because I really want to get in my jacuzzi tomorrow. Um, but yeah, um, I was in there, baby. I don't know. Them days definitely start running together, even though I know how many days I was in there, but them days start running together for you, whatever. And, yeah, I was praying, crying, just wondering, I'm gonna get out. And then, yep, I think I called her on well, today is Thursday. I must have called last year. Must have been. I called her. I think I went in there on a Monday. I probably called her on a Wednesday, and then I was out by with her. I think it was Friday, I think, or whatever. And that's the other thing. Dang, that part coming up. I almost forgot about it. I asked to get me out, and yeah, she, I guess, sent her, or sent who again I would consider my sibling, and she didn't come. She was just like, yeah, I can get you out, but she didn't come. And I mean, I'm good. Right before the so-called sibling showed up, God allowed me to have a smile on my face. It was God. I got to give him the credit, the glory, the honor. And I didn't, Lord, I don't want this to turn out too long because I've been talking already. But anyway, it don't matter. I had a smile on my face. This is the first time that I was like feeling like I was able to genuinely smile. And I was like, what in the world? I'm in a bad place physically, definitely mentally it was messing with my mental, but spiritually I always, God was there. but I'm in a bad place. And like, how in the heck can I smile? And like, it was a real smile. And then I thought about the person who actually was coming to bail me out before. And I hadn't seen this person or talked to this person probably in a year or two or whatever. And, God used, allowed, I don't know about used, but definitely allowed for this person to come get me out. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, she didn't come. God is allowing me to remember that for whatever reason. She didn't come. And but when I got out, I thought that she had sent her. And I mean, she probably told her what happened or whatever, but I thought she sent her. But I remember the so called sibling telling me, she couldn't come for whatever reason, something about work. And I'm like, honey, my thing is, if it's your kids, it don't supposed to work like that. But, I do understand it different now. Anyway, she didn't come. I did get out, but I called and I was like, thank you. And I think she said, you're welcome or whatever. And that's when God just let me know, you don't need to be thanking nobody but me. There ain't nobody getting the glory. And so that's the one thing. God is not sharing his glory with nobody. And like, he mean business when it comes to that. He definitely, as far as me, I understand it. I know it and I've experienced it. So that part of the word where it say he ain't sharing his glory with nobody, he's not. So, I think, and especially, I think it's okay to thank people, but I think you need to make sure that you thank God first and you acknowledge it. But but anyway, I just think I wasn't supposed to say nothing to her, period, or go there or whatever. But um, so again, then the third would have came. So it was November the 30th, December the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and the 4th I got out. So that was 5 days, 5 days, whatever. And man, like the fact that I'm sitting here, and I'm thankful I'm not in there, but I'm sitting here a year later, and it's like looking back on that, and I do look back regarding my daughter's dad, when he was committing crimes and getting locked up when he was younger, he act like it's a. I'm not gonna say he did, but he seemingly. It seemed like it was like a party type thing for him. Like he go in there and make friends, this and the third. Honey, I ain't going there to try to make no friends because I'm not supposed to be here at all. Period. But yeah, I ain't going in there trying to make no friends though. That like that. Uh, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to have been home with my kids, and so of course that's the part where my daughter been gone pretty much ever since then, and the one who contributed to me getting in there to begin with is the one who made the call to her dad. And it's so funny because he claimed that I called her dad on him, and I'm like, what? And it was stuff that puzzled me because I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to be calling her dad on him for? I wanted him staying out of my business. You're not even understanding. As far as I didn't do it in a subtle way, but as far as me discussing certain stuff about what went on in my house with somebody, and if they felt the need to say, hey, this need to be reported to somebody, you need to get back to her daddy, whether their intentions was to start something between both fathers, or if it was really to, which I think is that part. I think it's the former rather than this latter that I'm going to speak on. But I was going to say whether it's to actually inform and, have some concern. But I think it was more so to get them to want to fight each other. So basically, last year, I guess, the boy's dad was trying to kiss his tail or whatever. I mean, he had already felt like he wanted approval from him. And I was just sitting here like, but why though? Be who you are. And I'm with you. I'm not worrying about him. But he felt like he wanted approval from him, and I was just like, oh Lord, y'all. And so I guess now I just realized it was something personal between them before I ever even met, and it probably could have been a misunderstanding, but I don't know. People do petty stuff, and you just never know. Because to me, seemingly, my boys' dad didn't even know or nor care that my daughter's dad existed. His sister knew. of my daughter's dad, but it don't really seem to me that my boy's dad cared, or like I said, do he even existed or whatever. But I don't know. It may be revealed to me one day that something happened between them again before I ever even got to that location that they both was familiar with, and that I might have got a little familiar with, but I try to disassociate from for real. So I don't know what that was or whatever, and then I'll just be in the midst, and I'm like, wait a minute, but wait now it all is tied up some type of way, and I don't know, it's just no coincidences for certain stuff, but yeah. So yeah, all of that or whatever. Um, like I said, I'm just glad to be here. I don't like that I don't love that I have to just sit at home, but honey, one thing about it, I'm grateful. I sit at home for the most part. I was already sitting at home, and I was telling dude that I was involved with, which of course the boy's dad, I want to get out, I want to do this. And he was saying, we're going to get out, we're going to do this, whatever, whatever. That never came. And he's spiteful. He claimed my dad, the man who biologically, blah, 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 whatever. He claimed that he sold him a dream. And so I guess it had something to do with me. But I just feel like his eyes fooled him, or you know what I'm saying? Again, you having crazy intentions for somebody. You mess around, you get over there, and it's not what you want, then you be disappointed. So be disappointed in yourself. Also, you could be disappointed in the ones that trained you, because maybe they should have trained you to have a better eye for what you want or whatever. But anyway, it's been amazingly crazy. And I told people that I didn't want no parts of crazy, specific persons and people. And I was like, no, that ain't me. But anyway, I'm thankful. I'm here. I'm here with my boys. And like I said, they definitely been kind of showing forth, especially that youngest one, regarding his dad. And I love him. It's still been, I can do more than tolerate him. Like, I just love him, and I can embrace him. And, yeah. I just pray he continue to grow and mature, and that he's not gonna be just like his daddy. I want him to be who his heavenly Father created him to be. Yeah. And that's what I speak over all my children, and I hope for them. I know I can't force them and push them and all that. And I don't force and push them to believe what I believe, but I do have to share it. I feel like it's my responsibility to share and show and point out, evidence of what God does in my life that does trickle down. And I don't want to call it trickle down, but definitely overflows and affects them as well, or whatever the case. But and then I just know last year she didn't come, she didn't want him to. She wanted to place a phone call to him or whatever, but she didn't. So called didn't want them to go to to him. They're supposed to be parent, and part of me feel like, well, I feel good about that because I wanted to get back and see him. I didn't want him to just take them, but the other part of me is like, you're not their parent though, so why would you even feel like? And the reason I got that information is because the so-called sibling was like, oh, she didn't want him, and it was the way she said, oh, she didn't want them to go over there with him. And I was like, oh, okay. And I never got an explanation on why or nothing like that. I mean, what was it? And that's things I kind of want to know, you know what I'm saying, and discuss. But I don't feel like these people don't ever give me the answers because to me, they do so much scheming, scamming, hiding stuff or whatever. And it's like, well, this set of evil over here, this set of evil over here, they working against that evil, they working against that evil, and really they just weed themselves out, or I don't want to say balance it out, but they balance it out, help to balance it out for me, but they weed each other out and all that or whatever. So I'd be like, all right then, y'all hold that down. But she didn't want them to go, so I looked at that, and then she didn't want me to come to her residence because I was coming. My kids had left some stuff over there from when I was in there, and they wanted it. And she didn't want me to come. She sent her husband to come bring the stuff. So I was like, damn, I'm not welcome. So, okay. So I'm sitting here saying thank you, this, that, and third, but I'm not welcome. Then that gets me to being reminded of when she had like it wasn't a recliner, but like a chair with, a couch with, where you could just put your feet up on the footrest or something like that. I was sitting in it, and then she came in there and she just plopped down in it. And it was almost like making a stance or whatever. Like, no, you ain't sitting up in here. You ain't getting comfortable in here. And then it was just an awkward. Well, it ain't awkward, but it was a crazy silence. It was a silence. It was like a menacing type. Like, I don't fool with you. I don't want to put my own words to it, but it was something like that. And I'm just like, oh, I had to look back and see what's going on. But I don't know. It was very. If I cared that much, it would have been very uncomfortable. But I still noticed it or whatever. And it's like it tried to like go through me, what you call it, permeate or whatever, penetrate. But because of who I am, I just be like, okay, that's on you. I'm out. And so I left or whatever. And I think that was after, yep, she's got a boy, a son. Again, I'm not going to say that they're not my siblings, but, who I've known as my siblings, he graduated 2018, and it was after that, and then I just left. So that was pretty much the last time I went over there, and I ain't went back. And so it was 2017 or 18. It was one of them. I don't know. Because he could have graduated when he was 17. I just cannot remember. But yeah, so that whole part. It was just crazy, man. I got more that I can say, but this video is 51 minutes. So let me get off of here, upload this, and then come back later for more commentary. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, plus I'm trying to play my game. But I can go on and on and on.